Episode 9?
Oh yeah.
100,000?
Yeah, 900,000. It's just regular
exactly.
9.
No.
Yeah, 9. Number 9. Number
Stop
9. It's episode 9 of Stuck Between This Guy and That Guy. A rock and a bald spot.
And we're stuck. Step bros.
Okay.
Marvel Phase 6 has had some adjustments. So they already pushed back the 2 Avengers movies to December of their respective years.
Which was
and then they also
something else. It was like next
Exactly.
year. It was like 2026 and 28.
2026, 2027. And so now they're both. So Doomsday is releasing December of 2026. Secret Wars is releasing December of 2027. So in addition to that, they also canceled 3 untitled Marvel movies, which I'm really curious what the hell they were going to be.
I want to know. What were they?
Part of me thinks Blade, maybe, which sucks because I really want that Blade movie to happen.
A standalone Hawkeye movie.
Starring Haley Hawkeye.
Except
Haley
they
Hawkeye
can't
Steinfeld.
because Jeremy Renner's being wah about his salary or whatever.
I mean, some of those things were like they were untitled, so like who cares potentially, unless it's gonna be something really fucking good. But
well, hopefully,
I'm guessing
all 3 of the canceled movies were Captain Marvel.
this guy. All 3 of them were starring Rachel Zegler, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Rachel Zegler recast as Captain Marvel.
Holy shit, dude! Name a more iconic duo for your hate. I do.
I don't hate her. I mean, I dislike her. I
strongly dislike. Yes.
I don't think I strongly dislike her. Have I ever said anything that would lead you to believe that?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Something ironic. You know, when the whole like Snow White thing was happening, I totally did not realize she was like the second main character in the Hunger Games prequel.
Oh yeah.
She actually was like okay in that. I didn't think she was like a super terrible actress, and I think that movie was actually the best Hunger Games movie. So
I mean, so I haven't seen that, but it's like I've always said that I don't think she's a bad actor.
It was the views.
She's just a bad actor. As in she acts in bad faith, type of bad actor. She's
just leap of faith.
I don't know. It was like she got famous real quick, and she got like too cocky for how famous she was, and then started spewing toxic.
She used it as like a platform for her view. Yeah, and you really can't do that. It's probably what's gonna happen to us.
Good.
We're gonna get famous and then get too big for our fucking britches, as they say.
I'll fucking do it now. Just give me some more pizzas.
Damn. Yeah, I don't know. 3 untitled movies getting canceled. That at least we don't know what the hell they were. So I think I personally would be more upsetty spaghetti if we knew what they were and they sounded cool. But I'm guessing they were probably obscure characters.
Yeah, you were not excited for Captain Marvel 3 or
would she have gotten a 3rd movie? I don't know, because I think people kind of shit on both of her movies, honestly. So I don't know if she would have gotten a 3rd movie.
Dude, I don't even think it's Brie Larson's fault, but I mean, I'd like to say it is. I don't actually think it's her fault.
I think because like it was probably some like Ant-Man-esque character, like not like someone related to Ant-Man, but like, you know, like that level.
Loki movie?
Nah, they wouldn't cancel that.
A Kang movie?
That potentially. They were like, oh, let's recast Kang. They were starting to work on it, and they were like, nah, we can't do that yet.
What were those god people called? The fucking...
Oh, like Hercules and Zeus, like some fucking movie tied to them?
No, not those guys. The other ones that are like the elementals or whatever, or immortals.
Oh,
the evangelicals,
the Eternals.
Yeah, that's the one.
The televangelists.
Yeah, the televangelists, dude. Get Joel Holstein on the line right now.
Holy shit, dude! I fucking hate it here.
I meant Billy Graham, but Joel Osteen fits too, I think.
What about Billy Joel? He just fell off a stage, evidently.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was still alive. Anyways, Marvel, they're canceling shit. Big Sag. Dude, one more thing about Marvel, and then we can move on. So Thunderbolts was the last movie in Phase 5. Phase 6 kicks off with Fantastic Four next month, and when I found that out, that fucking blew me away, because I was actually just talking to my dear buddy Ricardo about this.
Ricardo, that's who I was trying to think of earlier. I'm sorry, that was...
So, something kind of interesting about that whole setup is, I have to tread lightly because I know you haven't seen it. Tonally, Thunderbolts is very reminiscent of the first Avengers movie.
Okay.
And there's some scenes that happen in New York near the old Stark Tower / Avengers Tower. So that is literally the last movie of the phase, which usually the phases end with an Avengers movie. Not always, but usually. So that is, Thunderbolts is literally just an Avengers movie, but just retitled.
I feel like they should have called it Captain America's.
Holy shit. I hate that. There's a scene making fun of like what they could call the team.
The fact that they're all super soldier serum kids.
It's not even so not that. Like they don't make a spin on it being like that, but no, they're just trying to come up with a name, and so they go over like 3 or 4 different names that are all very meme worthy. It's funny.
Does
you really need to watch that.
I do need to watch that. Does Taskmaster have a shield in that?
Yes.
Does U.S. Agent have a shield?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Everyone's got a shield.
Does Bucky have a shield?
You get a shield.
Yeah, Bucky's whole arm is a shield.
Exactly.
They should make Bucky's arm. You know, do you remember in the first God of War when you would block with your shield and that thing would like be like, and then it would like fold down when you like put it away?
I do remember that. When you said first God of War, you threw me off. I thought you meant like
not the original. I meant like the first of the sequel God of Wars. Yeah, Norse. Yeah,
I gotcha.
They should make Bucky's arm do that.
They should.
In fact, they should take Claw and put that on Bucky's arm.
Ulysses Claw. That's true. That'd be fucking cool.
Or make his other arm Claw's arm. That would be sick. Dude, what if they had made Bucky like that? They should have done that. I feel like
make him all a cyborg. Make
I'm
him
gonna be honest.
What's that X-Men character?
Colossus?
Colossus, yeah. Just make him Colossus, but with Bucky's face.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm kind of upset that they killed Claw in the MCU the way they did.
True.
If you don't remember, Killmonger just shot that kid.
That is actually one of the next movies I need to watch. Black Panther. I just watched Doctor Strange.
Perfect. I don't know. I feel like Claw was pretty, I don't know, integral up to that point. Because he was he had been in a couple films, right? He'd been in Civil War. Maybe just Civil War. Maybe he was just in Civil War. Was he in Ultron?
I think he might have been referenced. Yeah, I think he might have been referenced.
Unless he was in, I don't think he was in Winter Soldier, but I haven't watched that recently. You did though.
Yeah.
I also just
he was at least referenced in a couple.
I really like I really like Andy Serkis also, but I feel like the Claw as a villain. The Claw. That's why I'm mixing it up with.
That's what I was thinking. Oh, holy shit, so original.
True. I think he's like a pretty good villain. It just sucks that it was like, okay, he did all this evil stuff. He's really evil, and then Killmonger's like, bang.
All the good villains they fucking kill off, and all the bad villains they fucking keep around.
Yeah, killing Killmonger was a L take. Maybe Black Panther is actually a bad movie after all. 2 of the best villains in the whole franchise died in that movie. No. So what I was gonna say about the Ricardo thing, this is just so I can explain to everyone why I was like, I was streaming earlier and I shot some guy. I was in a scope. I was playing Gray Zone Warfare, right? And I was looking through a scope, and all I saw was some dude in like a red bandana pop up in the scope, but it was like really blurry and fuzzy. I couldn't see anything. I was like, oh, dude, that guy that Cap always has on his stream popped up. Are you good?
Oh.
I was like,
I didn't know where you're going with that.
I was like, what the fuck is that dude's name? And then you said Ricardo, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the fucking kid's name.
Yeah, the dancing Speedo guy.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
the one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you were talking about fucking aiming at someone, and I didn't know where you're going with that.
Yeah.
Thought you were gonna make a verbal threat on my boy.
Not on your boy, but Daniel made a school shooter, a school shooter joke earlier. That was kind of crazy.
That is very crazy. We're not gonna repeat that.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to tell it again. It was kind of funny. It wasn't actually funny. It was just funny the way he brought it up. You guys can watch the VOD. It's fine.
Exactly. We'll link it. We'll link in the description.
Okay. Famous last words.
Ryan Reynolds pitched an R-rated Star Wars movie, and it got fucking shot down. Could you imagine that?
I mean,
because there isn't a single R-rated Star Wars thing.
Well, there's not, and I don't think George Lucas ever wanted there to be. But also, they probably watched his fucking Mint Mobile ads and were like, "Nah, dude."
Probably so. That's probably what did it. I mean, Reynolds successfully pitched R-rated superhero
to be fair,
Disney.
Well, technically it's to Fox. An R-rated Deadpool Deadpool needs to be rated R. Not
Deadpool not being rated R is fucking huge L.
Deadpool, Daredevil, Punisher, Batman. Like, I know
probably
Batman's not Marvel,
with Wolverine attached as well.
Yeah, probably.
Honestly.
That's why all those X-Men movies are probably ass, except for Logan, because they're not rated R. Yeah.
Wolverine's historically a very brutal, fucking animalistic character.
Yeah,
so
dude,
like
he's like fucking ripping people in half. Like, and he doesn't have like that gray area that like heroes have where they're like, oh, don't kill people. Like, he kills people because he knows.
Like, fuck it.
He kills people because he knows that like it's the quick solution. It's not a great solution, but it's the quick one. And sometimes you just got to kill a villain, I guess.
Yeah, not Killmonger though. Don't kill Killmonger.
Wolverine's like schlink, cuts someone in fucking into chicken nugget Swiss cheese looking shit, and then he's like, "Yeah, bub." Like, the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you saying that because you're
cigar ash?
Yeah, dude. He's just happy he's taller than them, honestly. Now that they fucking are missing their torso.
True. Do you think we're gonna get a short Wolverine in the reboot?
I don't know. I hope so. I still feel like they should cast like Daniel Radcliffe or something for Wolverine.
I think that would give me a stomach ache.
No, it wouldn't. Who would you cast?
I think it might.
Oh, we've talked about this recently, even.
I don't know if I'd say recently. It was like
the first episode. Maybe it was episode
9
0.
episodes ago.
Yeah. Would you cast Tom Felton?
I don't know who I'd cast. It needs to be a short, stocky, fucking just CGI. Hugh Jackman being short
just
and
cast
stocky.
Andy Serkis again, dude.
True.
Yeah, just make a CGI, dude. They should cast if he's got to be like real short. Just cast a dwarf, dude.
That's true. What was the? Well, wait a minute. I think he might have died. What was the guy from Jackass? Did he die?
Wee Man? Did he? I think he might have actually.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. I don't.
He was bald, also. I think.
Well, all right. Let's not go.
Wee Man is not
stones.
dead. Some dwarf died recently. I'm sorry, dwarfs. I don't know. I can't tell you apart. I apologize.
I do not condone that.
I can't tell bald people apart either. If it makes you feel any better.
Holy shit!
Oh shit! I just fucked everything up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. I didn't mean to do that. I fucking clicked on the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Oh, is it going to do the black screen thing?
It is going to do the black screen thing, probably.
Rip. What do you think Ryan Reynolds' R-rated Star Wars thing would have been? It probably like bounty hunter-esque, I bet. Or
bounty
like
hunter-esque, or dude, fucking Jabba the Hutt sex slave trade.
I'll take a pass on that. I will take a pass on that.
It's Jeffrey the Hutt's Epstein Island. I mean, what?
Yeah, exactly. Jeffrey the
Hutt. It's either that or it's like he wanted to do like a Sith solo film that's like just focused on a Sith character.
That would have been cool. I'm surprised it got shot down. I guess they just have a strict like we're not doing that policy, because I feel like especially after the success of stuff like Logan. Well, I get that was still Fox.
That was Fox.
After the success of Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they weren't like, oh, fucking make us the money. And Ryan even said he didn't want to star in it, so it was literally just, hey, let's make an R-rated Star Wars movie. I'll direct it or write the script or whatever. And they were like, no. So maybe in a few years
he should change it to a Star Trek movie and go pitch it to someone else who even owns Star Trek. That might also be Fox. Oh, okay, hell yeah.
That's me.
I think it's NBC or something like that. Warner Brothers. And we could instead of just guessing, we just look this up.
We could just look that up.
Star Trek.
I have not seen any Star Trek movies.
It's owned by Paramount and CBS.
Literally the only studio you didn't mention.
The only one? I didn't mention Lionsgate.
They suck.
Or Pixar.
They also suck. Yeah.
Lionsgate
Pixar.
Doesn't suck. I didn't mention New Line Cinema. Okay, there are a lot of companies.
New Line's only good at making Friday the 13th movies.
Hey, they made Lord of the Rings. Shut your fucking dirty mouth.
Yes, sir.
I think they did anyway. Maybe that's a Rock Keats fact.
Has New Line made anything recently? Are they even fucking still afloat?
I don't watch movies. I wouldn't know.
Why not?
Because I'm stupid. Cool. Yeah, it says they were produced by New Line Cinema and assisted by Wingnut Films. There you go.
Shout out Wingnut.
What's I gonna say?
Nothing important. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, an R-rated Star Wars film. Like, on the one hand, like, I think it would be cool to have an R-rated Star Wars film, but on the other hand, like, I really understand, like, Star Wars is like kind of has a huge young audience, and they don't want any of their franchise to be inaccessible to that audience.
Yeah, that has to be what it is.
If I'm being honest, if I have to watch another movie like Deadpool and Wolverine where they say fuck over 200 times, I'll pass.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like, the word doesn't bother me, but like just hearing it so much in a short period of time, it's like, dog, you can stop. I get it. You can say fuck. Cool. Like, I got it, dude. It takes like the like that movie, it's okay because they just like use it too much. But like if there's a lot of films that are using it too much, it like goes over the top. Sony's television show Powers really did that. They were like supposed to be the first TV show because it wasn't airing on TV. It was only on the PlayStation Store. That they're like, hey, we're making our own show. We can do pretty much whatever we want because ratings don't matter because it's not going to be on television. And so they shoved as many fucks in there as they could. They're like, fuck. And it's like, dog, I get it. You can say fuck. Holy shit. The impact of the word is like lost. And it's like, if maybe the main character says it a lot, like fine. But it was like everyone in the whole show was saying it constantly. It was like, brother, dude, this is bad writing. This is just bad writing. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's fair. At some point, it kind of loses its power if you use it too much. The fuck word is like probably top 5 words for me.
It's like in the top 10, maybe. I use it a lot, therefore it's like it has to be kind of ranked high. But like I don't choose to use it. It's sort of like
I don't think it. Something diminishes in value if it's not used.
No, but so for me, my when I'm saying the word fuck, it's usually instead of there's a word for this, but it's usually instead of saying like or like, that people like they'll be saying something and then they can't think of what they want to say or how they want to finish the sentence, and so they have like a word in between their thoughts where they're like and then they'll keep talking. For me, I say fuck all the time. Or like I can't think of an adjective, so I'm just like that fucking thing, or that fucking thing, or instead of that gray dude, or whatever. That orange beaver.
Shout out gray guys and orange beavers.
It's true. I don't know colors.
Same. Because I'm bald.
No. Like I know colors. I just mean like I was just like saying I don't know. I was just using it. Never mind. That joke. that joke probably didn't land. I'm sorry.
W explanation. Anyways, moving on to Mission Impossible. So
the impossible
final
mission.
movie in the series. Yeah, exactly. It is a mission that is not possible. The final movie in the series finally came out, and pretty sure that movie's gonna lose money actively. And honestly, I'm kind of curious what their thought process was. So,
well, go ahead.
The production budget was $400 million. Okay, which is an insane amount of money for a movie. Historically speaking, the worldwide box office for those movies ranges from like 300 million. Actually, the lowest was 190 million.
Was that 3?
So the most being no.
Oh, okay. There's 2 then.
To be fair, it is The Final Reckoning, actually.
Oh.
So like that number is going to keep going up. But so outside of that one, the lowest is 399 million was the worldwide box office, with the most only being
like
786 million, and that was Fallout.
Bro, wild.
So like, what? Why are you making that movie so expensive, brother?
Have you
especially
seen 3?
I've only seen bits and pieces. I've been waiting for them all to come out because I'm gonna get a box set. I want to own those movies in 4K.
Dude, 3 is like over the top. Like, so the first 2 are kind of like they feasibly could, like, you can like believe them. You can suspend your belief enough to be like, oh yeah, I see that happening or whatever. 3 is fucking just like over the top stupid. Like he's doing shit that like I'm like, okay, dude, I don't know about that.
So it almost kind of goes the route of the Fast series, basically. Like it gets like super over the top.
I think, yeah, basically it's like almost to, there's like a weird scene on the bridge where there's like shit blowing up and like he definitely should have probably died and then he doesn't. And then there's like a scene, I want to say it's in 3, where he's like on the side of an airplane or something, or like a helicopter, and there's like these cutouts and he's like holding on to them and then like climbs into the shit. And then
it sounds a little impossible.
I think it's 3 also, where I think the movie starts on like a cliff. Like he's like fighting some dude on like, do you know what Bryce Canyon looks like? Or like those big like mountains in Utah that are like, they're real tall.
No, but I know what you're talking about because I think I've seen the scene. It's whichever one's directed by it's an Asian director.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, it's so it's either 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's either 2 or 3. It might be 2, but he's like rock climbing or whatever, and then he like fights some dude, and then there's like some sunglasses that explode, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on, dude? Like I was just like, brother, I don't.
Yeah,
like,
I've seen that opening cutscene for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It might be 2, but I was pretty sure that was a 3.
So the production budget for each of them. So like the first one was 80 million. So
okay, it is 2. That's the intro to 2. I don't know.
But like, so the first one was 80 million, then 120 million, 150 million, 145, 150, 178. So the last movie, Dead Reckoning, 290 million. And then you have the Final Reckoning, 400 million. So why did you feel the need to throw in an extra 110 million?
CGI. I bet it's CGI.
They had to have been going over the top for like the final movie, right? But like, dude, the movie's gonna have to gross 1 billion to break even, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Maybe Tom Cruise is funding it with Scientology donations. I don't know.
That would check out.
He's laundering Scientology donations even.
Have you seen all of the movies? Obviously, minus the last one.
No, I haven't seen the most recent one, The Dead Reckoning or whatever. I've seen the first three. There's only 5, right?
There's quite a lot now. So Ghost Protocol 4, Rogue Nation 5, Fallout 6, Dead Reckoning 7, Final Reckoning 8.
There's that many? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I've seen the first 3.
W. Yeah, I've seen parts of Ghost Protocol and that's it. And the opening scene to 2, evidently, for whatever reason. I think because of how crazy it was. I think I saw it on Reddit. Like someone posted. Was like, can we just talk about how crazy this opening scene to the movie is?
It is so crazy. Well, I think it's. There's one movie where he's like climbing a skyscraper and then he like runs down the skyscraper or some shit, and that's fucking like crazy.
John Woo. There we go. That's the director of 2.
Gotta make them anime movies, dude.
Yeah.
I don't
know. So that's the last of the movie topics. Battlefront 2 just surpassed a crazy record. It just broke its concurrent player count record 8 years after the game released, which that's not typically something games do. 8 years. That is crazy. Also, let's talk about the fact that game came out 8 years ago.
That's 8 years ago to one of the rockiest starts ever. I mean, Marathon's about to dethrone them, I think. Well, I mean, I guess
probably accurate.
If you really want to count Concord, technically Concord dethroned them, but they launched and they had microtransactions and
out the fucking wazoo.
And it was loot boxes. And the way you unlocked things in game was through loot boxes. And someone spent the money and unlocked everything, and I think they calculated it being like $3,000 or something ridiculous like that.
Absolutely insane.
You had to spend $3,000 in the game to unlock everything, which is absolutely insane. And EA caught a lot of flack for that, and thankfully they corrected that, and they just unlocked everything for everyone. There's still loot boxes, but it's like cosmetics. And you can't buy them anymore. Like you can't spend money on them anymore. So there's that as well. But like having to pay $60 for a video game and then being hit with a $3,000 price tag to like say you want to play as Darth Vader. Well, you probably got to spend $3,000 to unlock Darth Vader. And then you don't even get to play with him all the time. You have to be in a match and do well enough to be able to play as him. That's like the crazy part. Yeah. For something you paid for, yeah. But to hit
that was at the height of like loot box controversy. I'm pretty sure that game is the reason why most games started shifting away, because we were heading towards most games having them, like with COD. COD had
in World War II
back then.
COD World War II, True. And I think COD 4 had loot boxes too.
The remastered, it did. Yep. That was well, actually the DLC. Wait a minute. Was it? Yeah, they added loot crates for the weapons once they started doing expansions or something, but most of the loot crates for COD 4 Remastered were just cosmetics until they started adding like the seasons or whatever, like the expansions.
And so the COD 4 loot crates were kind of not as bad because they had a pity function where if like you open so many, you could just buy the weapon or whatever. Like you could get the weapon if you opened enough crates or whatever, the new gun. But World War II didn't have anything like that. That was so stupid, dude. Loot crates in general, I think, are stupid.
Yeah.
Shout out Horse Armor from Oblivion, which started all microtransactions altogether.
it's preying on people's like inclination to fucking gamble,
Exactly.
which is kind of predatory anyways.
I'm gonna get the next one.
Anything other than true. I think anything other than just cosmetics is crazy. Putting like pay to win shit behind loot crates is fucking insane. Cosmetics is one thing, but yeah, pay to win shit's fucking crazy, which is what Battlefront 2 was doing at first.
Well, Black Desert still does that. Yeah, Black Desert's a huge MMO. I mean, I wouldn't say huge, but there's a lot of people that play it still. And, you know, actually one of Dre's friends, he used to make new accounts and then grind up a bunch of stuff and then sell the accounts to people because it's cheaper to like buy a leveled account like that than to buy all that shit yourself and then go grind it and spend your time grinding.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I was kind of curious what sparked Battlefront 2's fucking record. And it literally doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess it sort of does. So basically, season 2 of Andor just wrapped up.
Right.
And
it's May. We just had May the 4th.
True. So one of the actors from Andor took to social media, like bragging about having 469 hours in Battlefront 2. And he was calling upon fans to rally with him to try to bully EA into giving a third Battlefront game. So I guess everyone's fucking hopping on to play it to show like, hey, we want a Battlefront 3, which they maybe would have done anyways. Who knows? But I wonder if like this big boost in
so
player counts will do it.
Temper your expectations, Grasshopper. First and foremost, it's EA. Second of all, it's DICE.
True. Third of all,
yeah, so it's DICE, and DICE is currently working on the newest Battlefield. Hush hush, very secret. We're not supposed to know about it, despite the fact that they keep tweeting about it. We know individuals who have violated their NDAs and told us about it, though. Unfortunately, not going to reveal who those individuals are, but Shroud is one of them, I think, actually. So if you're going to go after someone, EA, go after Shroud. I'm just kidding. Don't go after Daddy Shroud. I'm sorry. It was a joke. It was a meme. It was a joke. Anyways, point is, they're working on Battlefield, and the last Battlefield was not good, and the Battlefield before that was also not good.
Battlefield before that one was mid.
Battlefield 1 was all right. I guess mid is probably accurate. Battlefield 4 was pretty good, though.
Battlefield 4 was pretty good.
And I mean,
Battlefield 3 was really good.
I think Battlefield 4 was better than 3, but maybe that's just because we came in and played 3 for like, because it's when they gave it away on PlayStation for free. And then PS4 dropped like the next week. And then we were all playing Battlefield 4 on PS4.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked Battlefield 4. I liked that game a lot better than 1 and 5.
They need to fucking figure out the naming scheme thing. I don't know what it was with companies. It's like the past like 10, 15 years, companies just in different formats, or I guess like different like fields, just went right out the fucking door with their naming schemes. I mean, like you had Xbox has kind of always done it, so I'm not even going to include them. But at some point, what was it? I guess iPhone didn't do it. I was thinking Microsoft, they did. I mean,
Microsoft has been doing it though, because they had like Windows 98, and then they had XP, and then they had
Vista,
and then Windows 7. Yeah. So I mean, and then 8, 9, 10, 11. You know, that makes sense. But like before that, like what the fuck?
I guess iPhone did do it a little bit, because they had for 10 they jumped to X, which like it does mean 10, but then they also had like the XS or something like that, right? Or the XR.
Was it not the SE?
Well, that's true. They do the SE as well. Samsung definitely did it though.
However,
they went like Samsung. there was like the Galaxy 9, and then they jumped up to the S9. Then they jumped up to S20. They just skipped 10
went from 9 to 20. Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that, but I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember because I had stopped buying Samsungs and I was only using Google phones. And then I was using LGs after that, and then my LGs kept breaking like super easy because they were not using good glass. And I switched to iPhone because their glass was superior and still is actually. I don't even think you have a case on your iPhone because the glass is so good. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. The
evidently they did have an S10. They had an S10, but then it went to S20.
S10 20, cool. I don't know, dude. What naming?
Fucking weird.
Who else has done something like that? Things like King Kong make sense, or like Batman, for instance. Like the things that have had a lot of like different like reboots or like restarts, like James Bond, for instance. But a lot of times there's not numbers associated with those.
Yeah, it's subtitles or something.
Yeah, it's like King Kong, this one, or you know, whatever.
Yeah. That's the name of the movie, King Kong.
We're over here. One. Yeah. It's instead of Godzilla -1, it's Godzilla that one.
Exactly.
Actually, the -1 thing's making more sense if the King Kong is this one. This one, that one.
King Kong
-1,
+1.
Exactly. Battlefield 1. Yeah. So we had Battlefield. And then what? Battlefield 2? I think there was one in between that. Then there's Battlefield 3.
Technically speaking, I think the first few Battlefields were the World War II ones. So it was like 1942. I think it was like 42. Then there was like the PlayStation and Xbox fucking like exclusive store like mini game. 1943.
Well, and then there was
2042.
Well, so I guess it makes sense though, because then they had Bad Company 1 and Bad Company 2. But then I think after that they had Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
And then 4. And then you would think they'd go to 5, but no, they went back to 1. And then you'd like, okay, well, it's 1, so the next one's going to be 2, right? Wrong! That one's 5. It's Battlefield 5 now. Then it was Battlefield 2048, which was back to like the 42, 2042, 2048, whatever. It was back to using the years.
Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Vietnam, Battlefield 1943, Battlefield 2, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, Bad Company 2, and then Battlefield 3. So I guess the first Battlefield is I guess 1942 technically. And then
so they hadn't used Battlefield 1, so they're like, well, we might as well get Battlefield 1 while we have the fucking patent for it or the trademark or something. I don't fucking know. It's kind of funny because COD was like, okay, we have COD 1. It was just Call of Duty, right? Then they had Call of Duty 2, which was the big red one. That's the title. That's not like, I'm not saying it was a big red Call of Duty. I'm just saying that's what it's called. And then they had Call of Duty 3. And then they had Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. And then they're just like, this number shit is stupid. And they just stopped using numbers altogether for 5 through 18 or whatever the fuck we're on now. And then they started using numbers because we started getting things like Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. So it's not Call of Duty, because it could be, you could technically say it's Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare 2. But that sounds stupid. Or you could just say Call of Duty 6 Modern Warfare 2. But that also sounds stupid. So, I mean, they kind of just dropped the numbers from the Call of Duty and
then they started getting off into the weeds because then they remastered, or not remastered, but then they redid the Modern Warfare series. Yeah, so there's a Modern Warfare 2 and a Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, but one is 2 with an Arabic numeral and one is 2 with a Roman numeral.
Yep. Shout out numerals.
I actually don't know what the Arabic numerals are called, but the numbers you're used to seeing, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, the regular numbers.
The non-Roman numerals.
The ones on your telephone.
That. Yeah. Shout out telephone.
Yeah, on your cellular cellular.
Device. Speaking of devices, Switch 2 has confirmed USB mouse support, which is fucking weird to me. I don't know. You've played your Switch a significant amount more than I have.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So maybe you could see the use base for it.
Well,
but
so
like
keep in mind it's Switch 2. They're finally bringing the console up to being the bottom Steam Deck power, which is like a PlayStation 3 basically.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a PS4 on a good day. So now you can play games on it that it couldn't previously play, and that is, I guess, why you'd want a mouse, maybe, because some of those games you need mouse. I don't. So you can already use the Joy-Cons as a mouse.
That's why I'm like, why the USB mouse?
I assume this is just assuming and throwing a dart in the dark, right? But I would assume it's so you can put your Joy-Cons on the console and charge them while it's docked, and then you can still use a mouse to play. Can you use a keyboard as well?
I don't know. I've only heard of mouse support. I do know the console itself only has. So how many USB slots did the first one have? Only one?
Yeah, I think just one.
You remember?
Yeah, I think it's just.
Okay, so
no, I think it's two. Hold on.
Yeah, just go look. So I think the Switch 2 has a second USB slot, I think, or a third one. I think it has one more.
So I grabbed an OLED dock here, and it's got 2 ports on the OLED.
Okay.
The original, I think, only has one, though. Do you want me to go grab one of those too?
I mean, if you just want to keep going to grab switches to flex, sure, because you could do that like what, 4 more times?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Holy shit, dude. So Rocco, for those of you that do not know, has 2 children, and he has a Switch, and both of his children have their own Switch as well, and he also pre-ordered the Switch 2.
So I didn't actually grab it, but that dock, the original Switch dock, also has 2 USBs.
Okay, so I thought I remembered reading something saying, yeah, no, Switch 2 only has 2 as well. Oh, I guess because it's 2 USB-C ports. I don't know. I could have swore I remembered reading that the Switch 2 had more USBs than the Switch 1, but evidently not. It's still only 2. But yeah, dude, you have limited fucking USB slots. Fuck you gonna. I mean, I guess depending on how you do shit, I don't know. For my Switch 1, we have a USB plug-in like Joy-Con charger that like attaches to the dock. So it plugs into the USB and it's like attached to the dock. So then you can just like slot the Joy-Cons in. So that's one of your slots gone if you have something like that. I guess if you don't, that's fine. But then how the fuck are you charging your Joy-Cons? Just the fucking like
on the
sliding
console.
on the screen? Yeah, which like you can do, but then that's inconvenient if you have more than 2 Joy-Cons.
Get a standalone charger that plugs in the wall, I guess. I don't know.
Which they do make, which you would have to do, I guess.
Plug it into your PS5.
Or 4. Or
Nope.
3. Fuck it.
No, I mean, you could do that, but don't do that.
Fuck you, I'm gonna do it.
Shout out. What mouse are you going to get for your Switch 2?
I'm not getting a fucking mouse for my fucking Switch 2, Rock.
I've got a fucking final mouse right here, limited edition. I'm gonna crack that bad boy open. It's a fucking $300 mouse.
Is it a mouse? Is that the one that has what's the fucking keyboard centerpiece? Is that the one with the centerpiece code or no? One of the one of the mice they made
it might have had
like a centerpiece.
It might have had a centerpiece code, but I didn't fucking open them.
Damn.
I think I bought those before. I think these are like the limited edition, like green or white ones or something.
Hell yeah.
Let me just pull up my would this be faster going through my email or logging onto the final mouse, you think?
Probably Final Mouse, I guess. If you can see your orders, I don't know. Their website's kind of scuffed. Yeah,
so it was the. Go ahead.
Which one was it?
Well, it's the Ultralight X.
Yeah, I don't remember which one came with the centerpiece code.
What?
Either way, if I'm gonna be using a mouse for my Switch 2, which I won't be, but if I was going to, I'm just gonna fucking take the Joy-Con, rotate it on its side, and fucking use that as a mouse, because that is one of your options. I don't know why you would need to plug in a mouse. I guess like what you said, but that seems weird as fuck.
Bro.
Evidently, you can use it in mouse form to navigate the menu.
I mean,
like the Joy-Con. So I'm guessing the same with a plug-in mouse. But
is that easier to do than to just use the joystick? Maybe it's an accessibility thing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's not for us, for regular users. Maybe it's for accessibility reasons.
It could be that. It could be that.
Occam's razor or whatever.
Yeah.
The
Occam's Lock'em robot.
I think it's Occam's razor. The easiest solution is generally the correct solution. Or the
True,
whatever that
Occam's
is.
razor.
Okay. Final mouse. That says final shipment. Final mouse.
Speaking of shipments, I still haven't got my fucking shoes yet. Isn't that crazy?
Just kind of crazy. Order
I don't think
placed.
I'm getting them.
You might not be. Yeah, it's the ULX Competition 2, and I got the limited edition raw carbon color.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember which one came with the centerpiece code. Probably not that one.
I don't think it was that one. I ordered that last October. Last October?
Damn.
Is it really only that long?
Not even a year old yet.
I know. I thought it was longer than that. Well, fuck it. If it was just then, it might have come with a centerpiece code. I think those went out. It might have been. I think that was in like January or something though, that those were coming out. Anyways, moving on. The centerpiece is a keyboard, by the way. If for those of you who don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Exactly.
You might mention that.
Speaking of not knowing what we're talking about or not knowing stuff, did you know that they are making a Morrowind mod for Skyrim the same way they were making the Oblivion mod? I don't know if it's the same team or not.
I did. It's not. Well, some of the people are the same, but I did know that. And they started after Skyblivion.
That makes sense.
And I don't think they're very far at all. Not that Morrowind is not that Morrowind is a very big map, but like there's a lot that they have to go back and like do. I think it'd be kind of hard though, because Skyrim is the dumbed down version of Oblivion, which is a dumbed down version of Morrowind. So
shout out being dumb. They released a 20-minute gameplay demo footage, trailer, video, teaser.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know they were making that, which, I mean, we don't need Skyblivion now, so why not fucking hop into Skywind? Imagine. What if they get to like the same level of progression in making the mod, and then Bethesda's like, hey guys, Morrowind remastered.
I think that was just a case of bad timing. Skyblivion originally had a slated release of like 2023.
Yikes, they missed that.
Well,
by
so
a long shot.
They thought, so what the majority of what needs to be done currently is they need to have the map mapped, if that makes sense. They need to have, it's basically tying assets to in-game locations. And that has to be done like, you know, you have to like take a step.
It's meticulous.
It's very meticulous. And I think they were thinking they were going to blow through that. And then once they actually started doing that, we're like, holy shit. And a lot of the people who are doing it can't do it all the time because it's all volunteer work. So there's that as well. So that makes sense. Morrowind's a lot smaller though. So like the actual map is a lot smaller. Should be faster, I think.
Okay. If they end up making it, I'll get it. I'll check it out.
I think
it ends up coming out.
So I think the hard part about that is there is a lot of text in Morrowind, and I don't know how much they're able to just copy and paste. Like if they can just open the Morrowind files and just like take entire chunks of text and put them into Skywind, that would speed things up. But if they can't, there's a lot of like transposing and like writing they're gonna have to be doing.
I feel like when did it start? Yeah, the release is TBA.
I think it started in 2018 or something like that. Did you find it?
No, I'm on the like not mod. Yeah, the mod webpage.
Let's see.
Twitter. Oh yeah. All right, whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty cool. I hope it ends up coming out.
My bad. It started in 2012.
Skywind did?
Apparently.
Okay, so same time as Skyblivion then, yeah?
I guess so. It started as a fan-made effort to port Morrowind into Skyrim, but later evolved into total recreation with new assets and content. The project is a collaborative effort by the Elder Scrolls Renewal Project. Okay, well, there you go. Apparently they already ported it into Oblivion. So
yeah.
There's a Morrow Oblivion, apparently. I didn't know that.
Like Oblivion Remastered or OG
No.
Oblivion?
OG Oblivion. Apparently they've moved Morrowind into OG Oblivion already. Dude, Morrowind was cool. Can I just talk about that for a second?
Sure.
When that game, when that game first came out, it came, if you bought it on PC, it came out on Xbox also, but if you got it on PC, it came with a disc that when you put the disc in your PC, you could make your own maps and levels and like put characters and stuff. And I think that's like what the modders were using for the most part. But, like, you could make your own like areas and levels, and like I always thought that was really cool. Because I grew up playing like Age of Empires, where you could make your own maps and scenarios and stuff, and like you could make your own story in Age of Empires. So it was just cool that you could do that in Morrowind.
That is really cool.
You could also edit the actual game files. So I would always put a chest at the beginning of the game where I could get like the best gear immediately.
Damn, this guy's cheating. That's where it all started.
Yeah,
he's just self-projecting.
Exactly.
No, that's really fucking cool. So we obviously talked about this. I've never played Morrowind. I know you really like Morrowind. So if it ends up coming out, I'll definitely get it. I'll get Skywind and I'll play it.
True. The one thing I will say about Morrowind is there is reading. The dialogue is not voice acted.
I'm out.
Yeah, there's lots of reading.
The dialogue is not voice acted. Holy shit. I mean, the game did come out a long time ago. That's crazy though.
Yeah, like 2003 or something like that. Like the NPCs say things.
They'd probably fix that though, I'm sure. Did you catch it?
Yeah, I did. They say things, but they don't like speak the whole dialogue. Because like in Oblivion, if you like click on something, then the person like says stuff. And in Morrowind, they don't necessarily say things every time you click an option. I think the whole story might be voice acted, but like side characters are not. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they'd probably fix that with the mod. I would assume. I don't know. Maybe not.
Some of the voice acting is hilarious though, dude.
I know sometimes mods will do that. They'll like record their own lines and stuff.
You know, it just made me think of something. Well, I mean, we're talking about like remaking old games. I really want them to remake the game called Sacrifice. It was if you even know anything about it?
No, sir. Never even heard of it.
All right. Anyways, the one thing I will say about that is, you know, the guy in Ulfric's army who was wearing like the bear skin or whatever.
Yeah.
He's a voice actor in Sacrifice.
Oh.
But anyways, that game is it's like an RTS basically, but not quite. But you go around the map and collect resources and then like build your like summon your enemy, like your minions, and then you go fight other people. I don't know. It was a cool game.
Actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Skywind.
Exactly.
Last topic. something I want to start doing, and it's gonna be a little funky because of when we release the episodes. So
right.
I will be adding the next games that come out on Epic in the description, because when this episode releases, it will drop on Wednesday, and then the very next day, the next week, a game starts with Epic. So
right,
a little funky, but I will update the description with next week's games, and we'll also talk about next week's games in the next episode. But
yeah,
this week for free right now from Epic, you can get Deliver at All Costs, Gig Apocalypse, and Sifu. Which Sifu, I've streamed that twice now. I really fucking like that game. It is third person kung fu Elden Ring.
Except you get older every time you die.
True. Very cool mechanic. You have every time you die, so like the first time you die, you go up a year, second time 2 years, third time 4 years, and so it multiplies like that.
It's exponential growth.
Yeah, we don't need to use big words. But very cool mechanic. The art style, very fucking cool as well. It's just a great game. I definitely recommend it, especially for free. On Steam, you can get this new game called Mouthhole, like mouth hole without a second H. That is free until TBA, so hop on that. And then on GOG, we have Warhammer 40K Rights of War. That is a RTS that came out in, I think, 2012 is what I saw, I think.
Okay.
So it's a little bit older. Warhammer just hit like an anniversary, so they're giving away a couple of their games. There's another one for free somewhere else, but it goes away before this episode would drop, so I figured there's no point in mentioning that. But that one came out like 2002. It was really old. We don't like old games around here, even though we're just talking about fucking Morrowind.
And Sacrifice. Yeah.
And Sacrifice. I don't know when that came out though.
98. Which
Jesus
reminds me,
Christ, brother.
There was another.
That is almost as old as I am.
There was there was another really good game that I used to like playing. It came out in 2000. Called Black and White, and actually Megsy played the second one recently on stream, and I say recently meaning like within the last 2 years. But basically you're a god or whatever, and you're just your cursor is a hand, and you can like grab the earth and like drag the earth around.
That's fucking cool.
But the real
cause destruction and shit.
Yeah, you can cause destruction, but like the thing is like you need followers, like worshipers. So like you can pick up like an individual like person, and then like maybe they'll start worshiping you because you've shown them a miracle. So like if you feed like a village, they're like, oh, we're gonna worship you now, and then the more like they worship you, the more power you get, so that you can go and like fight the other gods. But you have these
like a remake of something like that. That sounds cool as shit.
Yeah,
actually.
and then you have these little you have like these little pets. They're like your pet or whatever, and you can like you can like discipline your pets by like beating them. And if you beat them enough, they become like evil, like angry pets, and you become like your hand turns more red and like devilish. And then if you like pet them and are like nice, and you're like a very good god, you get more like angelic looking, and your pet gets a little halo over his head. But it's funny because the pet is like a giant monster, like the size of trees, right? And he can go around and like he can go around and do minor like miracles. He's basically like your fucking prophet messiah guy, dude. And
shout out Seven Disciples.
And you can make your pets fight other pets, but there's a lot of other cool little things. Like there's this one guy who he won't believe in you until you solve this puzzle, but it's like some Stonehenge looking thing. It's literally just it's like 3 poles, and there's donuts of varying sizes on it, and you have to move the donuts from one side to the other. But he's like, oh, you're just a piece of shit, I don't believe in you at all until you move these donuts or whatever, until you can solve this puzzle. And that guy is immortal, and I used to have so much fun because when you would throw that dude, the camera would follow him, and he'd go like flying across the earth, because you could throw him pretty far. I mean, you're like a god, right? That can you can just pick him up and throw him like across the water. I used to skip him across a lake like a skipping stone. I mean, you could do that with any of the people, but they would die. But that guy in particular was immortal. I don't know. Game was fun. Yeah. They need to remaster that game.
That actually sounds really cool. Completely different concept. Kind of makes me think of Plague Inc. though. You like create a fucking virus and wipe out the world.
Yeah, pretty cool too. Similar.
But yeah, that's episode 9. Between a rock and a bald spot.